Hello, Ombute Devi here. And we're having a little bit more cooler weather here in the south of France. And I'm so happy that we got a little break in the weather. I am looking at a beautiful cloudy sky giving us a break. So today I wanted to come back in and connect. I'm back to try to connect with the field and see if there's any messages or any information or anything that I can see that can be of help for my own inner perspective and anyone else that is tracking this particular consciousness, the heart field. And I'm just saying heart field, that whatever in my universe, usually when I connect to the field, I don't have any maleficent um, beings in there. I feel like I'm very protected. And even when I'm sitting with a person, with a client, and doing one-on-one, when they're bringing up their concerns, whatever they're working through or got going on, anytime there's something that might not be in the best favor of the client, um, we're able to have so much protection around that anyways by just knowing that once we come into our own sovereignty, our own sovereign heart, we have protection, you know. It's when we sit in a lot of fear, not so much like that physical, natural fear that is preserving our our life. Like for example, the fear, there's so many different types of fear, but the fear that actually when you're like organic fear, when we are sensing something that is not in our favor, we feel it in the body, and our senses pick it up, and for us, our protection, we see like, oh, something is not right here. So not the fear that's in our mind, that kind of gets in our way. It's a different kind of fear. And the people talk about, there's this saying that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Um, and I think that's the kind of like mental fear that happens. So when we are sitting in that, we are vulnerable. So um, so that's what I'm saying. Then we really are anchored into our sovereign heart. We are protected. Um, because then all of our systems are then working to really perceive more clarity. And so that's how we get the protection. So when I'm going to come in, because we had this conversation about I pick up an angel card, and last time we had birth and gratitude, and the time before that we had vision. And like I said, I this is definitely an experiment for me to see if I can do this online without anybody being here present and, actually sort of like putting forth a problem, and then there's a live person that I'm sitting and tracking their field. But it seems like I'm tracking what's in the general heart field at the moment that I am able to tap into. So as a seer, I see things that is alive and that's moving, that's active in the moment. Um, so that's kind of what I'm practicing now to see and to tap into. So I've been doing this um, for many, many years, but only like in person. So yeah, just curious myself, because there's so much going on, and a lot of people are tracking, their individual field, what is happening in their world, and so, I just want to be able to see with where's the common ground, where do we can we help each other with these different perspectives so that we can get a bigger picture. And sometimes when we see a little bit bigger, we can make better choices in our own lives because it helps us to then use that perspective in our own everyday life as well, with things that we are seeing and sensing. And like I said, it's a particular flock of birds, like myself, that's doing this. So if you're here and interested, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be in sort of a heart-liked uh, company, and so, or like-hearted company. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, so let's start here, see what's happening. So I'm going to just kind of invoke the field. And when I say that, it's just about me coming into alignment with self. And I ask to surrender my ignorance and my arrogance and for my deepest healing and my highest love in connecting to this field and being in support of the larger conversation that is happening in the unseen. Um, and also be able to share this information in a way that is supportive and inspiring. I ask that any maleficent beings, energies be redirected and commanded back to their source, not to be in our space. You're not welcomed here at any time. And ask for my protection again from my tribe, my angels, and my spirit guides. And the protection is that I see clearly and that I feel clearly and that my breath is open and free. And any discords between you and I in the past or in the present or future be offered up into the solution consciousness, the heart consciousness, and that we come into a place of reverence and compassion for each other. And again, um, anything that is in this space, again, anything that is in this space that feels or sounds that doesn't resonate with you, and just leave it, no effort around it. It's not important. Um, I am not a psychic. I'm not going to tell you your fortune. Um, simply just seeing the unseen in the field, which so many of you are doing these days as well. So, uh, yeah. And if there's any burping around this in this session, I apologize ahead of time because I can feel that already as I am coming into the field, I'm just kinesthetically digesting the data, the information that's coming in through my subtle bodies. And so I tend to sometimes burp. I have to say, sorry, sorry, excuse myself, I apologize. Uh, yeah, okay. Oh, phew. All right. Hmm. So again, I walk myself into this space. So it takes time. I'm not like it's not like a button for me, especially when there's not a person in front of me. Usually, the person starts talking and bringing these different energies and thought forms into the field where I start to be able to see and feel what is what, and this is very different. So I'm just sensing into what's available for us right here and now. And trying to not be impatient, but I am going to take a card. I'm going to take a card to start the conversation, see what's coming up. Sometimes it starts already when I invoke the space, and I just want to get a card, an angel card. I'm still learning. I still have to practice patience. Oh, okay. Oh, education. Yes, I am still learning. So, of course, I keep saying I'm learning here. I start with me first, right? As far as this experiment, education, education. So I'm looking at this card. I just look at also the actual art in this card because sometimes when I look at the art in this card, it also invoke different tracks of seeing. So you can look at the art of this track. You see the one person standing at one angel, and the other angels are sitting in chairs. And then it looks like a bookcase and a map or something, kind of like on a wall. It looks like an interesting map. Is that a map? I gotta look. And it's like clouds. It's like they're in the clouds. That's what it looks like. And it's interesting because the angel in the front, I guess that's the teacher, has a halo. And the people are sitting, the students, I guess, they don't have halos. But they have wings. Hmm. Okay. So it's bringing me back to this thread. So the thread that we are following, that I'm following, is the thread of these souls coming into our dimension and as are being activated through the goodness of us and through us practicing or coming back into some rhythms, some natural rhythms with the elementals and with the natural world. Um, and Yeah, so this is the thing. Okay, so it's kind of the same, it's on the same thread. So um these beings, these souls are waking up. They're waking up and they're looking for guidance. They're looking for sense there and how they're looking for guidance. These souls that are being activated, they're activated again at a certain set point. So like there's a certain set point, like an emotional, intelligent set point where they open up, where they get activated. And then the information that they're taking in, because it's not a mental thing, so they're taking in information through their beings. They're taking in the information that is there. Um, And so we are the teachers. We are the teachers. Interesting. We always think about like that there someone else is going to come and save us. Like someone else is going to come and save us and teach us. And we're getting guide. We want to get guided from other people, from the ascended masters and our spirit guides and everything. And this is like just flipping that all upside down. We are the actual masters because we've been here on this plane for a long time. We should have mastered it, or not should have, but we are in this mastery of this human experience at this point in time. We have mastered the good, bad, and ugly. We have certainly mastered the ugly. Yeah, we have in so many ways. The goodness, this is the thing. So there is something about our halo, like to the reason why they don't have their halos on, because they haven't even they're not it's like a clean slate. It's a clean slate. So they're absorbing what the benevolent vibrations are. They're picking up the benevolent vibrations, and they're absorbing it, and they're using that information for to create a solution, a solution. Okay, so there's something that's the evolutionary impulse, to put it into the evolutionary impulse. I think for some reason there are data, a DNA storage, a data storage. There's some toxic DNA storage. There's something. They're showing me this. There's something wrong. There's not wrong, but there's something array with how the DNA are being activated because of they're showing this toxic layer, this toxic influence on our DNA. So we are not evolving, I guess, according to a certain benevolent consciousness. We're not evolving those particular DNAs, or what's activating it's not in the benevolent manner or fashion. So in order to keep on evolving our DNA, it evolves. So because it's contracting, because when there's maleficent, is it called maleficent vibration frequencies that are like low frequencies, the DNA contract, it doesn't evolve, it doesn't open up. It's coping, because it's showing me, because intelligence goes like whatever, when there is the path of least resistance to high intelligence, it oh it that's where it goes. When there is so much contraction and complications, when there's too much complications around a biological set point that has already been designed, its architecture is for high potential and a path of least resistance, because it's efficiency, and how this biology uses energy to get, transport into ATP. It's giving me like pictures of the mitochondria. There's something in the mitochondria. There's something in the DNA that has been eroded, so it's not. Yeah, let's just. It's getting complicated here. It's just showing me all these little coming into like, microbiology here. Um, but it's showing me, okay, that that the solution, what they're wanting to help, is the feeling of a benevolent energy and to magnify this benevolent energy and to reset this evolutionary impulse that is in everybody's DNA to remember to come back into an alignment with its original okay construct, its original imprint, imprint in yeah, imprint. There's a, and that imprint is the again, the benevolent forces. But the imprint has been eroded. So now there's an imprint that is getting etched into the DNA that is of a very, well, I would say, okay, not so good, not so good intelligence, not so integral. So it's contracting. Yeah. So, okay. An example, we're going to take an example so this makes sense. When you don't have stress in your body, when you are relaxed and ease, your body can heal, right? So that's where it's your body's designed like when you're relaxed, when you have when your body can really rest, you then the body can heal. That's an intelligence that's like innate in us. It's just something we can't do that with our mind. It's just, something that when we set that environment, then we start to see the healing, right? It's kind of like when you go on vacation and you've been, burning the candle at two ends, and you go on vacation and you get sick. That's the body saying, finally, we can start to heal. And so it goes into like a little bit of a healing crisis. Right. And so this is kind of the same thing. It's just the same principle here, right? So some of us is showing some of us, a lot of people, actually, a lot of us, okay, is that like this is what's happening. This is also what's happening with nature. This is also what's happening with us. The healing crisis no, started a while ago. There was a standstill where people had to literally be still, and a lot of things came up to the surface. They're showing a lot of things came up to the surface when we had to stand still. I wonder if it was that COVID? And so we start to see what actually was under the surface, which was a lot of discord, a lot of sickness, a lot of misalignment, a lot of systems were being disposed or exposed, and we saw that more truth coming up to the surface. Okay, so it's kind of like it's been going on for a while, they're saying. So while now we're here, so now okay. So going back to this angel card, now we are here. We are actually the masters. We are the teachers. We are the ones that are actually leading a consciousness to be not born, but to be expanded and grow. And so that this consciousness can be guided by the state of our hearts, by the state of our minds also. Like if our minds are really grounded and rooted in the nature of us and the goodness of us, if it is actually interpreting and relaying our innate intuitive goodness and intelligence, that's a really rooted and grounded mind. And when we are able to when we are in that state, that we are able to make choices, and our actions are sort of what we call high actions. Our actions, our response are showing a behavior and a feeling, a sense feeling. We are radiating, we're setting out this echo. It's showing me an echo, a resonance that is informing these beings that are already here, has been here for a while. We saw them coming down. on my first post, I was kind of surprised. I didn't know what they were, but it's been revealed to me now that these are these beings. Um, Benevolent beings coming in, but they're here to help with the solution. And the solution is that they are helping to magnify, because they're like babies. They're like newborn babies. They have so much, what do they have? What is it that they have? The capacity to magnify anything that we are sitting in. So they are, it's kind of like they're like little energy batteries. Like they can magnify anything and mimic anything that we are putting in to the field. They pick up, but they're set at a set point of a very benevolent frequency. So once we come into the goodness, and then they activate, and then they start to absorb these frequencies, they magnify it. So basically, we're getting back up. We're getting back up. Uh, um, so we are not, it's not like we are going to have people come down, or be ascending masters, or whoever ETs, where that's going to come down and tell us what to do. No, we are actually showing them by what is running in us, what it is that we are creating. So whatever it is that what's running in us, they are magnifying. But there is this really beautiful, I guess, insurance button, because they are benevolent, and they activate when the field is at a certain set point of goodness. And this is why we are reminded again to come into your benevolent heart, come into your own agency, your own goodness, come back into the rhythm of the elements, the nature, come back to the simple movement of, when you think of nature and the principles of nature, of the path of least resistance, because there's a flow state where, meaning, okay, I see the flow state. They want you to flow state. Whatever it is that you are here to do at this time and place, on the planet, this is the place, the planet, and you're here in this time frame, in this three-dimensional time frame. You have a flow state that is extremely important this um, for this support, to cultivate this consciousness, to stabilize this consciousness, and to open up the expansion in that, so that that evolutionary impulse starts to come in and grab that consciousness, grab those that and that consciousness will stimulate an effect on our DNA, and so will activate, open up codes. Some of you are extremely um, are highly designed. It sounds like designed. Yeah, it's okay. It's a better word than manufactured. Okay, because there's a difference. Okay, okay. All right. We're not manufactured, we're designed. We're designed by source through the love of. Okay, yeah, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So it's saying that finding flow state, again, it wants to remind us that when we are in flow state, there's that rest, there is that peace, or there's a stillness, that is can be very loud and active in some of us, but that stillness, and when we talk about stillness, it's just that we're standing, there's a stillness compared to all the other movements outside of us. So when I talk about stillness now, I'm talking about you being in your unique flow state and staying there, that you're still in your own flow state long enough that you are able to, that your codes, and when I say codes, they're showing me these little things in them, in the cells. They could be telomeres. They look like telomeres a little bit. It looks like an it almost opens up like a flower, like a whisk, like those whisks. It's kind of like it's showing me that when it opens up and it's like moving. They're like it's kind of moving like jellyfish, like in the little cells, they're moving. Um, yeah. So it has to do with how we evolve. It has to do with our biology being connected into our nature. It has to do with coming back to what you know is right and true for you. And it has to do with you putting out a particular resonance for these beings that are coming down, that are already here, to pick up that resonance and then amplify it enough so that it's strong enough for the evolution to actually take on its original set point. Wow, its original set point. Its original set point. What was it? Original set point? It's coming back again to simplicity. It's coming back. It's showing me again a river flowing instead of the complications, the manufacturing, the discords, the complications. It's like the complications. It's looking at like a big ball in a cesspool. Um, because everything is connected to everything, and everything has this intelligent weaving that supports each other in a very so in it's everything supports each other. Like if you look at nature, you see how the nature has created this circle of life, circle of existence. And when you break that, and it's not able to heal, and heal and connect back again with a stronger intelligence, it starts to regress, and you start to weaken that nature. You start to weaken it. So it's showing me if you have broken it and you try to and we try to heal it, we try to reconnect it and heal it and fix it with more complications and more restrictions and not a high intelligence, but and so it just showing me that it just kind of collapses after a while, because it's almost like it's a spiral. It's showing me a spiral, and when you break it and you don't and it's not healing within its high principle codes, within the goodness, within that high intelligence, but it's healing through manufactured complications and manipulations. Um, then it's almost like it zaps all the show me it zaps all the energy and all the life force out from that, the energy, the wave, the power of the wave. So it sucks, it complicates. So the power of the waveform of the impulse gets it could implode. It's showing me it implodes, and then because of the power, it implodes, and it looks like 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 a gross, like a dark, wiry. There's no color on it. There's like this like a whole kind of, it looks like a planet that is just a garbage planet. It's like, it looks like a planet full of like garbage and shit on it. I don't know. It's just like when I say garbage, it's just stuff on it, like it's just stuff on it. There's no nature on it. It's just like, mm, yeah, it looks like a planet that's done. It's not alive. Um, Yeah, so it's just showing me so I can understand the contrast. It's like there's vitality when we are acting in integrity, and there's less vitality when we are not acting in integrity. And I think, and another thing is also, let's understand that we are creating our world. We have it inside of us, and the beings that are coming in, according to what I'm seeing in this field right now, is that they're looking to be educated that we got the halo. We are the people that they have been waiting for us to come into our goodness so that they can actually then amplify that goodness. So whoever and whatever you are doing in this time and place, come into your goodness and do it and do what is in your highest flow. When you are in flow, you are probably in your truth and your goodness. And that is what there it's showing me, like, because that's when you become the teacher. That's when you are able to educate based on your experiences, your feelings, how you have had the experiences, and how your feelings and emotions have been able to go through those experiences, what it's done to your biology. And so they're able to take all that information really quickly and see what is to be saved and expanded on, and what is to be put for waste and recycled. Like, they are so quick when they're absorbing our energy. They can just sort it out really, really, really quickly and be able to magnify the highest frequency and amplify that. And that again is to able to stimulate the DNA in us, in this biology, in the human, to come into right relation with the evolutionary impulse at this moment. Because it's something, there's something array with it right now. They're showing me. So, oh, interesting. So, and so what happens is also just showing me one thing that's so important. One thing is very important. Okay, there's only one thing. We compartmentalize a lot of things. And we compartmentalize, we would like to put things in categories and all of that, and that's good for learning. But the flow, they want a flow here. They want a flow. So, like, for example, one sense, we have the five senses, we say, but they're saying it's one sense. It's one sense. And the senses, when people talk about multi-sensory, it's like the multi-sensory they're saying is, if you know what blue looks like, you are going to be able to smell blue. You are going to be able to taste blue. You are going to be able to feel blue. That's multisensory. So it's not like you're going to get another, gazillion senses, added senses, but the senses you have is going to be it's going to be open up. So the senses that you already have open up, but you can't be shut down. You have to, you like, so when you go out in nature, that you start to sense, that you start to taste. So this is another thing about what you're consuming, because it's deadening your senses. When you're not in relation with people, when you're not in like in high relation, where you're not feeling and touching, those senses starts to dim and dim and dim. So it's really important that it become that what they're showing, that you come into a rhythm that is governed by these natural principles, because that actually is going to support your senses as well as you come into that multisensory. And some of you have already done that. You're doing it already. They're showing me there are lots of people that are doing it and might feel a little disoriented with it, because sometimes, like, dreams are more real. You can't tell if you're alive, if you're in this time frame. You might be doing something and you feel like you might feel deja vu. You might feel like you have to kind of check yourself because you feel a little, out there, like you're not so grounded. There's all kinds of experiences that you can feel while um, these traits, while your technology is being continuously stimulated and toned um, into this frequency that is being amplified right now. And of course, it's during a time where you know, the larger scene, on the planet is in a very bad sort of like transition, in the sense of there's a lot of things that we don't like that's going on, and that is kind of like the big thing that is on the news all the time. And yeah, it's not good. But there's also a lot of things that's happening that's really, really good. And the more you are connected to the natural world, the nature of you, you can get a little bit more relief from some of those stressors from that contraction, that big contraction that's going on in the big marketplace, so to speak. So again, it's about, again, like coming into that place where you can rest enough, where you can feel enough spaciousness in you. I know that we have Mercury in retrograde. There's a lot happening with the planets, and that's helping us get, you know, get into these nooks and crannies that sometimes do not feel that good, but they're actually doing that as there's this movement that is showing us that if you're comfortable in your numbness, um, that's where it's going to be stirred up. So most people talk about, I need comfort, but if you're really numb, it's going to be stirred up. Um, so a lot of that, what I'm seeing the cosmos are doing, is stirring up, so that the numbness, like when you have been laying on an arm for a long time, and then you're like, oh, you're trying to wake it up, and it's hurt, in that transition from being asleep to waking up. They're showing me like that's where we are, and it's going to be like this for yeah, who wants to say a few years. I'm again, I don't want to, I am not here um to talk, to foretell a future or anything like that. But it just says that it's gonna have its own time. Like, and I again, it pointing back, we are our own masters. We are the teachers. We are educating. We are informing the consciousness of what we are wanting to cultivate and build based on the state of our inner being, based on the state of our hearts, based on the state of our mind, being rooted in the goodness of us. So we are actually, so if you're looking and trying to get some help from outside, they're waiting for us to be able to tell them by the way who we are and what we are. They're looking at that and saying, okay, this is what they're building. But again, they have this default system that is like they won't, these particular benevolent beings, they will not activate and amplify anything that is below a certain set point of goodness. So again, wow, that's pretty neat. Okay, so that was the education. Um, Did I get educated? Yeah. I didn't know where this was going to go, how this was going to go, but this was an interesting conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I just thank my guides, my spirit guides, and all of my support to help me just stay steady in the seeing. Um, let's see if there's anything more. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I apologize. Ah. Okay, there's one other thing. If you are a person that speaks with the plants, if you're that has a good communication with nature, with plants, um, it's like listen, listen, listen. They say listen, 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 because they have a really strong message right now. Okay, so because plants naturally, if you have done any study and education in plants and botanicals, you know that a lot of plants have ways of producing chemicals that are toxic to other beings so they do not get eaten and all that stuff. They have, okay, so there's a lot that I guess with that's being eaten and that is not doing very well in our systems, and it's becoming we could tolerate these toxins before because we weren't as stressed out and so limited on our reserves. But now we are that we are being really affected by it. So, um, so there's something yeah, so they're just saying, check with when you are in relation. This comes back to what we talked about consumption. Consumption. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting for me too, because oh wow, okay. Oh, so this is about the consumption. To be more educated about a consumption, to listen and have communication, have dialogue, and listen to what it is, get to know what it is that you are actually consuming, get to know the nature of what you are consuming, and get to know what you are consuming, what it needs, whether it is an animal, a plant, or whatever, what that source actually needs, what the being actually needs, and provide those needs before you actually consume it, and listen to what it needs, and listen to for it's for your own good, for your own so that you get the ultimate nourishment, and listen to what some of these things you got to select out. You got to select out based on your own constitution and based on what's going on with you now. It's always changing. So again, going back to your own nature, listen to your own nature, listen to your resources, listen to, because it's live. It's anything that you are consuming is live. If you're consuming something that is dead, stop it. Like dead stuff, like preservatives, or we're talking about those dead things. But most, if you're eating live, if you're eating, life force, as in animals or plant-based, or that's life. And there's an intelligence there. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I think that's it. I mean, there's so much. I keep saying that there's so much, but for me, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're still listening here now, it's please put any comments down below that if you have any similar experience or resonance, or if you have any, perspectives to share that is in support or similar, or that can help just sort of expand this dialogue, this well, for me, it's an experiment, and I feel like there is something, that there's something here that can hopefully be of help, um, or help confirm something that you are already doing. Sometimes we just, being in the sort of what I call the abnormal flock can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming and lonely, because it might not be like a conventional dialogue or conventional perspective. But we are actually, it's just like we're writing a new narrative. And even though we might be writing a new personal narrative, but we are also writing a new collective narrative. So yeah, So I just offer this up, And again, if none of this resonate with you, please leave it. Don't, just leave it, just walk away. There's so many other things you can, click on and get into, right? So you just leave it. Then it's not for you. So much love here, and I really appreciate everyone that really stands and leads in a heart-led life, and a life that is really in high action, right action, and in goodness and the benefit for all. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So much love here. See you next time.